Hi everybody, MichaelBtheGameGenie here, and on today's video we're going to be having a little bit of fun and talking about who Arcade1Up is targeting their marketing, social media, and product releases towards. It certainly seems like it's geared towards a much younger demographic than the core fan base who's actually buying their product. But the actual target is someone much different than you might think, and I'll tell you more about it right after this. So guys, that's right. Today we're going to be taking a look at Arcade1Up's marketing strategy, communication strategy, social media, and who the product releases are actually aimed at. But before we get started with that, I want to say thank you so much to everybody for checking out the video. I always appreciate your support, guys, and if this is your first time to the channel, you like what you see, go ahead, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and all that YouTube stuff. And it's funny because the next thing I have to do is wish everybody a very happy new year. Hopefully you guys had a safe, happy holidays, celebrated the new year in style, and it's New Year's, which has actually kicked off this conversation. So I'm sure anybody that follows Arcade1Up on Twitter, or if you've been living under a rock, have heard about Arcade1Up put out a very nice message for New Year's Eve talking about gamers. Here's to another year pretending we're still in our 30s. And the funny thing about that was, like, none of the actual core users are really still in our 30s. Some of us are, like, there's some people, like, in their late 30s, late 30s. I know, Tyler, you're out there, you're 37, but, I mean, most of us are well past that. I mean, you know what I'm saying here, guys. I'm 40. I'm a man. Now, realistically, this was just something dumb, an oversight. It's not really meant to be anything. It shouldn't be something that we should get offended by. But it does make me question who Arcade1Up actually thinks their consumer base is. Do they think that there's younger 30-year-old people actually buying these machines? Or do they not understand that most of the people that are buying these are in my age range? You know, I'm a Gen Xer. I was born 1980, year of the monkey. I'm 42 years young, and I would think that I'm closer to the target demographic. In fact, if you watched 19K Fox's show last night, he actually did a little bit of free market research for them, for their most devout hardcore fans that were watching his show. So if you guys watched 19K Fox last night, he held a survey during his live show determining what the age brackets were of the core audience, hardcore fans of Arcade1Up, the people actually buying these machines. He had 250 votes, which I think is a fair representative sample of the target audience that are actually buying Arcade1Up cabinets. And according to this poll, 56% were between 40 and 49, and then on top of that, another 19% were between 50 and 59, making up 75% of the audience in that age bracket. Now, to be fair, 30 did come in around 20%, so there are some people that are in that age range, but it's a small amount. It makes up almost none of your market. You are catering to the lowest possible denominator. And also, before we go any further, I want to take a look at some of the responses there. Forget about Mime 1, you've grossly misunderstood your demographic. But, of course, console kits with the Office reference, and I've left an Office reference in my thumbnail as well, that I stole from here. And cue the core fan base in their 40s and 50s about to riot. Zero Hero, yeah, it's the 30-year-olds that are buying Pac-Man. So is this trolling or ignorance? 30s, LOL, come on, overthink gaming. There's Ty Fisher, like I said, hello, I'm 37 and have 27 of your arcades. So, you know, he's still on the older end of that 30 age bracket. Goddamn millennials. And this is the one I'm talking about, Adam from Dark Empire. Creed Bratton, I'm 30. No, actually, I'll be 30 next month. But it's just everybody, if you go through the comments in this, was just like, what are you talking about? 30? 30? Who in their 30s are buying these, right? But anyways, at the end of the day, this is just a Twitter post. It doesn't really mean anything. Should we be bent out of shape about it? I mean, it's just Twitter, right? Like, it doesn't really say anything. It's probably just a typo or misstep on Arcade1Up's part, right? Well, maybe not. And the first thing I want to mention is the recent product releases. So if you take a look at what they came out with last year, sure, these were big, thought impossible releases, but Blitz came out in 1997. Now, that's a time when I really wasn't going to the arcades anymore. I was 17. I was trying to find ladies, and not a lot of ladies in 97 were hanging out at the arcade. Then you've got Marvel vs. Capcom 2, another late 90s release. Killer Instinct, reaching around 94. And of course, they threw us a bone direct to consumer with Dragon's Lair here. NBA Jam is one of those games, like the NBA is marketable to anybody. Golden Tee is a bar game when some of us were in the bars actually playing it, so that makes sense. Then you get stuff like this Shinko, well, no, it's the Yoga Flame edition, but it's not arcade accurate. It's got all kind of art on the side. And I think if you take a look at last year's releases, you can start to see a pattern here that maybe that there isn't a lot of love for the classic 80s games. Most of these are 90s and above games. So maybe there is something to this whole 30 thing. Maybe Arcade1Up actually think that it's people in their 30s that are buying these machines. And guys, I'd really like to tell you that this is a new theory that I just came up with, but it's been one that I've talked about multiple times, going back to like Chinatown Market, NBA Jam, and I said, who would buy these? Who are they marketing towards here? I didn't understand. Chinatown Market, is this a more modern brand? Are they trying to reach out and get a younger audience, maybe in their 30s, maybe even in their 20s? How do they expand and, I don't know what the term is, increase their market share? Well, with partnerships kind of like this, and this is what they tried. It wasn't successful, that's why we don't see it anymore, but this was them reaching, and it's not the only time either. Of course, we also saw, if this will ever come up, the Supreme Mortal Kombat Arcade1Up machine as well, and I know some people in the community love it. I know Steven Swanson bought one. I think Bobby Vu bought one. Supreme's a big brand, but most of us Gen Xers and 40 plus people, we do not have Supreme Arcade1Up cabinets. Like, this is not something we're interested in. So who is it for again? I think this thing with Arcade1Up saying, hey, we appeal to people in their 30s isn't so much that they're taking a shot at us. It's dressing for the job that they want, not the job that they have. So they know that a bunch of money is in the age 30 to 39 demographic. That's their target demographic. However, their core audience is outside that. So they keep marketing, planning their social media towards it, and it just doesn't make sense. Of course, I've only talked about social media and product releases first. What about marketing? Well, I think we can all remember a recent string of advertisements that Arcade1Up spent a bunch of money on recently to get the Jabberwockies, who I don't know who they are, and this is obviously a millennial thing. Mike Tyson, I know who it is, but he still has name recognition for the millennials through the Hangover movies, still involved in a bunch of stuff. Like, we had other celebrities, none of this made any sense to me. I was like, how does this sell Arcade1Up cabinets to us? But the thing was, it was never meant to sell Arcade1Up cabinets to us. It was meant to make them seem, it's hip, it's fresh, it's chill, it's Noah's Arcade. It was meant to make them seem younger and fit with more of today's audience. So I guess that settles it, guys. Arcade1Up has missed the mark once again, advertising and designing their product releases towards a younger demographic, trying to increase their market share, at the same time upsetting their core audience once again by not understanding what they want. It's all signed and sealed, right? Arcade1Up is trying to sell cabs to millennials. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this is the face of who Arcade1Up is marketing towards. God help us all. But of course, guys, it isn't that simple. Now, I may have a business degree, I may run a business, a not-for-profit charity, but like a lot of other people out there, I don't think we fully understand how this works. And while it seems like Arcade1Up is making a misstep here, they may very well not be. And of course, the 30-year-olds and the 40 and 50-year-olds buy the products. We're absolutely the end users, but we may not be the people Arcade1Up are actually aiming to sell to. No, at the end of the day, Arcade1Up, of course, want us to buy their product, because then us buying the product will better benefit the partners that are actually buying the product from them, I assume, which is companies like Walmart, which I guess is their biggest target market. It's Walmart that they actually sell their product to. What they advertise and what they're aiming at is that we end up buying their product, and that as many people as possible buy their product from Walmart, so Walmart will buy more product from them. And maybe that's how their business model works. And I don't know. I'm not David McIntosh or whoever is going into these meetings with the executives from Walmart, with the executives from Best Buy and these other purchasing companies. But I would assume that's a much younger group of people. Like, you go in, you meet with the sales reps from Walmart, the people that are buying these, and maybe they're 30-year-old people. And maybe that's the thought process. And then what Arcade1Up is looking to buy and sell usually is the same kind of shit every year. They know what sells. I've heard this before. What do 30-year-olds, millennials, really remember? They remember names that are out there. You look at what Arcade1Up has successfully sold. Pac-Man, what they've successfully sold through Walmart. Street Fighter, what they've successfully sold through Walmart. Mortal Kombat. And why do those names ring out so easily here? Because, guys, they are all represented of the legacy line. And why did Arcade1Up come up with a legacy line? Is it to make sure that fans, new fans, won't miss out on older cabinets? Is it really a love letter to these machines? No, guys, it's because Walmart and the other distributors keep asking for the same products that they remember on consoles, the same products that they remember and they think will sell. The legacy line wasn't designed for our benefit. The legacy line was designed to figure out a way to keep releasing the same games over and over again, because that's what Walmart and other distributors will stock. That's easy money for Arcade1Up. Arcade1Up can say, hey, we got 50,000 Pac-Man, 50,000 Street Fighter. Do you guys want to buy them? Walmart buys them, and that covers off 50% of their overhead for the year probably. That's how this company works. While we say we're tired of the re-releases, Walmart, Best Buy, and those other companies are saying bring them on, and that's exactly what Arcade1Up are doing. Again, so for those of you tired of the re-releases, as tired as you are, every year we're going to get them in this Evergreen Line, and the greenest thing about them is how much money it makes for Arcade1Up. That's why we see the legacy line. That's their focus, is on selling to Walmart and other distributors. As much as this might hurt your soul, hurts mine, that's their focus. And before anything else gets made, they've got to make sure they make their nut. They got to make sure they make enough money to keep the doors open, keep the lights on, and they're going to continuously do this. They're going to continuously release the exact same cabs because that's what the distributor wants. And if times are tight, we're going to see more of this in the future. The focus may be exactly on this. As frustrating as it is, unfortunately, that's what we're dealing with. So guys, at the end of the day, a tweet's a tweet. I wouldn't worry about it too much. They're not overlooking the core fan base, the people actually buying the cabinet. They might be trying to increase their market share a little bit, or it might just be an oversight. But at the end of the day, Arcade1Up's main concern is selling to Walmart, selling to Best Buy, selling to the big box stores. That's where they make their money, not selling to the end users. The end users buying stuff is a benefit because that'll motivate the big box stores to keep bringing in product. So a tweet's a tweet. We can drop it, guys. We don't need to worry about who Arcade1Up is aiming their business at because we already know. It's the big box distributors. And unfortunately, that's why we won't see titles like Q*bert, and that's why we won't see titles like Robotron, despite the fact we would love to have them. The question is, do the purchasing people at Walmart have a friggin' clue what they are? Of course, they should know Q*bert. I mean, it's one of the most iconic arcade games of all time. But do they really know? They seem to have very little arcade knowledge, and that's why we're getting very little in terms of awesome, unique releases. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of my take on who Arcade1Up is marketing their social media, their ads, and their products towards in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you know a little bit more about how their business works than I do? I'm open to your thoughts as well. Anyways, guys, once again, Happy New Year. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we're getting Q*bert and Robotron in the very near future. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you guys next time.